guys, Jen Wilson here. This is day 3 of my 100-day experiment. So today's post, because we had a little visit to the doctor. Here's Tinker. Hi. If this is going to correspond with it, because it's a story that I love to tell. It's a story that needs to be told. And, well, here, I'll just tell you. I'm going to call this the Saga of Tinker. I got her in 2008. I feel like it's like a masterpiece theater. The year was 2008. Anyways, it was the summer of 2008, and I was getting out of a really stupid relationship. You know, the ones where, you know, there's all kinds of drama, and then you look back and you're like, ugh. Yeah, he was kind of a douchebag, kind of embarrassed, you know, but, you know, we all have those. You remember that one? Yeah. Okay, so you just remembered it, so yeah. So, but anyways, it still had drama, and I was hanging out with not the best people. Doing a lot of partying, drinking way too much, staying up too late. Hang on, I'm going to scoot the baby here so you can see her. Hi! But I just wasn't taking care of myself. I was in bad shape. And I thought, you know what, it is time I get another dog. I'd been thinking about it. I had inherited my mom's dog, Sassy, but she had died about 3 years before that, I think. And yeah, about 3 years before. And I was just ready, you know, I needed something. And maybe it's just because I was lonely from, you know, being out of a stupid relationship that got too serious too fast, and we were both just idiots. But so I started looking on Pet Finder, which, by the way, is an awesome site. What they do is they link up with rescues and stuff like that at shelters in your area or surrounding states. And so I hopped on there and I was looking, and I couldn't find a dog that really clicked with me. And of course, my, you know, hippie upbringing, our mom was an astrologer, she was a hippie. Even my oldest sister, the super pragmatic one, sent me a message and said, remember, St. Francis will let you know when you've been chosen. So even the nurse, hey, what up? Come here, Buggy. Lincoln is not mad because he's not getting attention. Come here and I'll love on you. But no, you're not going out yet. Go lay down. Punk. Anyways, but for some reason, none of those animals caught my eye. And there was always like the happy dog and the sad dog and the please come get me dog. And yeah, I felt bad for him, but nothing really caught me. Till I got bored and I started looking through different kinds of breeds. And oh, here's the bug. And I loved big dogs. Sassy had been a big dog, so I was looking at Mastiffs. I was looking at Tibetan Mastiffs. And I clicked on a picture, and it was the saddest looking picture I'd ever seen of this poor dog with her head down, her ears down, and I literally, my reaction was like, oh! And tears well up to the point where, like, the inner voice was like, eye roll. Oh my God. Drama, please chill out. It's not that deep. So I was like, well, it's my dog. So it was like, it's serious, love at first sight. So I start looking at it, and she was, oh gosh, I wish I looked up the county, like Clinton County or Clark County, something like that. Animal control. So, and her name was Jenna. So obviously if I got her, I was going to have to change the name. So I immediately called down there. And I should have got the first hint when it was Clinton County Animal Care and Control. How may I help you? And I said, well, I'm calling about the dog under the name Jenna. And I said, I'd like to see if she's still there. Well, yes, she is. I said, well, I would be interested in adopting her. When's a good time? When are your hours? And so they told me when the hours were. And I said, so where exactly are you? She said, well, we are just south of Atlanta. And I was thinking, okay, Atlanta, Indiana. And I asked her, I said, is that up by South Bend? And I get this pause. And then this, ma'am, you've heard of Atlanta, Georgia? Yes, I had somehow screwed up and hooked up with a shelter in Atlanta, Georgia, 1,000 miles away. So, well, I was screwed. I was already kind of committed. So I said, okay, and I thanked her. And this was back when MySpace was big. So I posted on MySpace the situation. Found a dog, fell in love, but she is 1,000 miles away. Am I crazy for wanting to go get her? And like 90% of it was, yes, you're crazy. But about half of those were, you're crazy, you should just get a dog in Indiana. And the other half were like, no, you're crazy just because we know you're crazy, but you should still go get her. But my friend Christina, she posted the decider for me. And it was just the simplest question. She said, the question is not, are you crazy? The question is, can you live with yourself if you don't? And the answer was no. There would always be questions. And so that was on a Monday. So on Tuesday, I went into work and no, that was on Tuesday, because Wednesday I went into work, talked to my manager, gave away my shift for the next day. I worked lunch on Wednesday, made a little sign that said dog fetching fund, called every regular I had, and between 11 and 2 raised a little over $200 in tips. They were wonderful, very appreciative. And I mean, I made a little bit more than that, but you know. So I went home and took a nap, and sorry, my phone was vibrating. Took a nap, and about midnight I got up, had my friend Stu check my car to make sure it was drivable, and left. I had wanted to try to put it off till the next week when I was going to go down there with my nephew, but they said it was, you know, June in Atlanta, and they were already over capacity. So if I did not come get her by that Friday, they were going to put her down. So left Wednesday about midnight, drove straight through Bonnaroo people, which, by the way, Bonnaroo people, y'all are kind of rude. So, because I dealt with every single gas station I stopped at, people were bumping into me. Nobody said, excuse me. Maybe it's just because I'm used to being from Indiana, but anyways, you know who you are. But anyways, so about 7 o'clock, I started actually finding myself drifting off the road. So I saw a sign that said like a day's in, $40 a night. I'm like, cool, because I only need like 3 hours. So I pulled in, and I said, I just need to sleep for a couple hours. And they said it would be $160. And I was like, what about that? Well, it turned out that they'd raised the prices for Bonnaroo because, quite honestly, they didn't like the Bonnaroo people. They were very rude and did not respect their stuff. So they had quadrupled the prices. So if you're going to stay here, you're going to pay. So I said, well, I told the situation, I'm just here to get a dog. He said the best he could do was cut the price in half. So I paid $80 for a 3-hour nap. That's okay. I did it. And got up, hit the road again. It was really what I needed. It helped a lot. Drove down to Atlanta. And when I got there, and it was just south of Atlanta, that sweet woman I talked to was like the most amazing woman I've ever seen in my life. She was this, when I say giant, you know, I'm not like, I don't do fat jokes. I'm not saying she was a fat woman. She was like a Viking goddess. She had red hair. She was like, her arms were just muscular arms, and she had a koi on one side and a Japanese princess on the other, and her boobs were huge. It just, like, she was just amazing. Like, she should come riding in on a horse with a sword. And then she spoke, and she had that very nice southern accent. And I remember she just looked at me. She was like, seriously? You seriously are the one who came down? And there was a officer there with the name Bubba, seriously, on his name tag. And he kept going, I just can't believe you came down. I just can't believe you came all the way down here. And then the lady in the background, I remember going, oh my God, that's the girl Nancy spoke with. Oh my God, come with me. So we went inside and went into the kennel, and I had already emailed with Nancy a few times. She was the one of the leader of the rescue that had been helping coordinate with Pet Finder. And I went in and I said, I know exactly where I'm going. I know where this kennel is. And I went, this is my, Turned out the dog was a little bit smaller than what you would expect a Tibetan Mastiff to be. I think what they did was they went by the coloring. So, but I was already there, and I just looked at her, and I said, I remember I put my hand up to the door, and I said, are you the dog I've been dreaming about? And she just sat there, and she just kind of scooted up and leaned against the door and licked my hand and was like, Mom, can we go home now? And I was like, done, dirty. That's what they named him. That's his name, the kennel master guy. I said, this is mine. So I went and got her, paid the $75. And it was so sweet because as I left, I had her outside, and I was kind of combing her out because she was just filthy. And I asked if they had any, like a comb or anything for me to, you know, because she was blowing coat. And he goes running inside, and this huge, like over 6 foot tall man comes running out with boxes. He's like, PetSmart donates stuff, and this is really neat. So here, have some stuff. And he got me some toys and some food to start her off with. I mean, really, they were just amazing. Everybody down there was wonderful. So, so that helped. Got her brushed out a little bit. She jumped in the car, ready to go. She did not like being in the back seat. So I put everything that I had in the front seat in the back seat, put her in the front seat, and she sat there. Oops, sorry. I'm getting a little overexcited. And, ooh, there we go. and just sat there and stared at me for hours as we drove home. Finally, at about Lexington, Kentucky, she started getting a little tired. She was so cute because she'd be like she was, and I really kind of think that she was sort of afraid to close her eyes because she was afraid she'd be back at the kennel. So I pulled over at a rest stop, walked her a little bit, and put her back. This time I did put her in the back seat, and she just turned around 3 times, went straight to sleep. So I drove, and then since it was nighttime, I rolled up the windows and realized this kid reeked. So obviously it had been a long time since he'd had a bath, and I was getting punchy by then. You know, at this point it was like 10, 11 at night, and I was like, who's a good baby? Who's a with a tinky dog? Who's that Tinker? And I had been going to name her something like Pasha or Misha or Sasha, something to go with this beautiful flowing coat of hers. And well, anyway, so she was asleep, and I'm getting all kinds of slap happy, to the point where I missed my exit through Cincinnati and ended up going through Louisville and up, adding another 2 hours or so. So I got home about 2 in the morning, and so I take her, put her in the house, shut the screen door, go back out to get the box, and a cat runs across my front yard. She bolts. And so I'm standing there holding a box thinking, I just drove 22 hours for a dog that just ran away, and I don't have a name for her yet. So I was just like, so I go, Pasha, Smash it, Tinker! And when I called Tinker, she just stopped, was like, whoop. And I was like, Tinker, Tinker, come. And she came right to me. And it's been like that since then. You know, she is mine and I'm hers. She picked me as much as I picked her. So, yeah, it's crazy. I never really thought that you could, you know, get an animal like that. But it really is like that. And it's sweet, but we're having a little bit of a rough time right now because she's been diagnosed with cancer. They don't really know what the cancer is right now because she has a lot of fluid in her abdomen and lungs, probably like the body's reaction to the mass that they found. So we're working to get the fluid down, so maybe we can try to get a biopsy and find out what it is, and either fight it or find a way to make her as comfortable as possible. But it sucks. It's awful. It's horrible. There's nothing good about it, obviously, but you know, I'm just going to value and be grateful for every moment I have with her. So, but anyways, that's the story of Tinker. It's the saga of my dog, the first dog I ever had that's actually been just mine. And she's a sweetie. Are you a sweetie? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. See, she's so sweet. So, I'm actually, I might actually link this up with a GoFundMe account. So if you feel like throwing in a couple dollars, $5, hey, whatever, I would appreciate it, because honestly, at this point, her $100 checkup today ended up costing $500 because we have to do more tests and more medicine. So it's kind of come down to, it was at one point between the medicine and the mortgage, which I haven't paid yet this month. Now it's between the medicine and food. So yeah, we're selling off a lot of stuff. But anyways, this is not why I posted this, but I really wanted to tell this story. But yeah, so feel free to share your stories. I don't know if mine is an unusual story. You know, if other people, how close you feel with your dogs, because she's like my child. You know, maybe it's because I can't have kids, but she's my child. She's my baby. So I'd love to hear back from you, and hope this wasn't too long and drawn out and boring. But yeah, okay, day 3 over. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.